The middle of nowhere does me just fine. I'm shoveling through some ditch dirt, no one over my shoulder. The road lends breathing room between fields. I'm a speck on the boundary. It's impossible for one body to be loud out here. I have a square enough hole, and each lunge of my spade brings me closer. I'd even use my hand, but it's relieving not to have to. That I'm prepared. I exist as someone who won't. Just my classic pit. Gotta dig it a few feet deeper than it'll actually be. Enough for a fall, and enough to bury firm the base of my prods. Spikes. Took a long time to repurpose these wrought iron pikes from their long-standing job of protecting my house. Finally, my time has stopped and I stand on the brink, living through those longest moments. And it feels nice, y'all. I loosen my pants down to my ankles and squat over my hole. Those iron spikes are bundled next to me, and a Corvette parked recklessly in the ditch gives further reassurance. I zone out, relaxing and looking slightly off at the red-yellow waste of color from my car as it's caught on the wall of crops surrounding. There was a time of humor wherein I would wax poetic about this bowel movement, but tonight, all I imagine is a picture. Simple, and it reads, the man shits in his hole. The Corvette dies, leaving me to finish in the dark. I don't wipe. Rather, I toss my clothes while lazily jaunting to the used car. There's nothing to inspect. There's nothing more the two-doored marvel can do. One door now, with a shitty damaged altar hanging out the doorless side. I borrowed it. Drag that slender podium, naked, to be set beside my little pit. It's not heavy, but the earth is stiff. The back road dirt has pull to it. From cold, dead soil to sandpaper. The earth objects. My feet start to bleed. The base of the altar begins to bounce and strip. I take large strides, keep my feet firm and steady. 6 steps bleed me. 4 long meters later, my triumph, placing the altar beside my putrid hole. Alas, unsettled dirt dares to tip the prop into my fecal trap. I can't trust the world at large like I used to, so instead of thrusting my spade, risking my wrists, I drop to my knees and push gravel aside with my fingers. The waft of my stench hones in on me, akin to smoke from a fire. And on my knees, they can be seen. The bugs, beetles, ants, and worms, all emissaries of the breakdown, of decay. As obstinate as the soil may be, these insects press on. Given a free pass, they toil, as I am. From the slight drop, open-face pit I've championed reigns an impossible sound, like I'd given up mere millimeters from the roof of a hidden lake. An implosion. A wet splash plop as it's filled in forcefully, and out erupts a deliberate sign. Centipedes begin to escape from my hole. By the time the tail of the first evacuee can escape, a cavalcade crawl to follow, all directions, hundreds, maybe thousands. They stampede over my legs, my entrenched hands. Few try to scale my limbs and fall. Skitter, scatter, but the silliness doesn't hold up their line. These critters are smeared in my offering, and their little pokes sketch stenchy shit along my legs and hands. I'm on all fours ignoring them, pulling gravel away from my pit and tossing it blindly. Each effort splashes against the crop stalks. I'm not hurt, struck, or hissed to. No crawler stands up to me. I run with them where I'm not tangible. A dim fear screams. If I stop, they might become real and devour me. One puncture at a time. That won't happen, though. My resolve coddles me with a daydream, and then they're gone, and I don't turn to see their tails. I can hear them, out in the distance. Then I don't. Nothing moving anymore, frankly, and not even earthworms remain to disable my stage. They'll be back should my body rot. I shimmy the altar into place, right in front of my pit. Almost done. A glance downward. My pit is flooded. Shit floats, but there are more bits in it than I can account for. And with little strength remaining, I pull my focus away. Before rising, my bare ass touches the dirt. I sink in. Mother Earth has tried a softer approach. A loose memory foam touch pleads with me. Rest now, please. My spine rolls out. An echo. There's a song buried in white noise. My ear kisses the dirt, as if on the opposite end of a seashell, I'm sung to. The distance calls. Far grounds that long ago suffocated the sun, tall beyond the crops, they're standing out, standing up for me, welcoming my push to get up and wander off, starve to death, and join the landscape. I do not rest for another breath. I rise. There's nothing past me, my altar, and my pit. I pop up, reach around, and I'm on my knees with those iron sticks atop my lap, untying their bundle. Had them wrapped in some throwaway rope. Thin still, shreds of my line catch my fingernails. Their guardian cuticles loosen, painting their domain a deadly shade of purple. With ease, unbefitting the pain, one caught claw is plucked, and the rest of my fingernails follow. Hurt aside, the knot comes undone easily. Toenails start getting wise, and I can see them changing, and while they aren't popping off, collecting in my pit, I can see my skin prepare to abandon them. Gladly they fall while I drag my legs away from the pit, now lying on my stomach. Magnetically, my toenails trail away. Mercy. My torso hangs horizontally, dangling my arms and head over this disgusting, swampy puddle that has obliged my hole. Taking one of many iron pikes, I get my hands dirty. On and on in vague rows, and this layer of brown, nigh black, bit-filled liquid begins to run off my elbows. I hustle through the chunks. It's revolting. I feel like I'm goring a weak point, hands-on with a busted cyst in the earth. There's a bottom still, and it's raw and tender. Soon, an itch searing anew overwhelms my hands. It snaps me from my mouth-breathing drive. Seeing through the thin film that veils my hand, I bear witness to my skinless structure. My flesh has crawled away. There are tracks. My peripheries can spy fresh trails fleeing through the dirt. Pulled away from the scene by the merciful greater good. A scavenger. Rodent powers that be, saving what they can from me. Hair falls, strays to clumps, and with great care, the unfelt wind carries my dead weight as far from me as it can. Nearly pass out, thickly clouded in awe, but my compromised hands catch the underside of my pokes before I fall face first into this sore, skinless from the elbow up, now with protective deep-root slime coating, hurts in new ways. I tremble, hoisting myself up, leaning on my toppled, chipped, borrowed podium. We rise, finally. Standing attentively, I call those ancient words from memory. Things get strange when one's soul is near them. My Corvette begins to complain, creaking, crocking, and I don't look, for I am focused. This is a different kind of remembering. It's granted. I'm half digested, just getting set up. My bets have been placed. And I didn't think I'd be half myself, just taking slight precautions. My muscles begin to weaken, like with wide, jerky shivers. My spine is burning. The Corvette splits in half. What remains is a crooked Ovaltine shell. A tall form circles me on all fours. I dare not look. A gelatinous mucus greases the joints of this mucker. I can feel it spitting around in my pit, and the soil itself tries to move out of the way. Circling before it sits, is seated, a loud, sloppy affair, even for out here. Frictional sputtering pops, complete with a whining guffaw, splaying lubricant from its jaw. Peripheral information is going to implode my mind. So I close my eyes. My face stops holding itself up. Tears, drool, free fall from my chin, dousing my goofy, flailing motion. I'm treading the air, trying to balance a will-less backbone. My silence blinks. Only for a moment, my eyes open, and it's looking at me, a concave skull foremost, but nevertheless a giant sits impossibly as if seated. A wet, must be 3-meter skeleton. Its sputtered mucus clutter heaves a dotted yellow trail, and likewise a translucent sheen wherein its parts connect. Too many smells at once, like sickness, like an open stomach. My eyes snap shut by that skull. That distorted, deep skull poses a question as it exists. Damn thing can't change its head, can it? Forever cursed to give a last, sad affronting glance. Yes, me, the altar, the trap, the statue. Next, please. There is no breath. I will live down a path to 3 choices, and I have them all. I will remember. I will stand, and I will hold my piss when shit gets real. Setup is wrapped up. Let's begin. 5-minute punch. 13 pilots. Due July 31st. Come around.